Fire release. This has to be the element we start with. The will of fire is the very first philosophy we're introduced to at the beginning of the series, and the Hidden Leaf Village represents the fire element. In the Naruto universe, fire release stands as the ultimate symbol of aggressive, explosive power that delivers devastating wide-area destruction. If you want to make a statement and burn through every obstacle in your path, fire release is your weapon of choice. Fire release transforms chakra into literal flames right inside your body, then unleashes them through your mouth like you're some kind of enraged dragon. Yep, that means the fire is coming from inside your body, not some kind of oil-spitting fire dancing trick. Although, you can boost your fire release with oil, or even a little wind. Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin, combined fire release with oil from his toad summons to create flames so intense. The technique was as much about showmanship as it was about raw, destructive power. This is a direct damage element, so the trade-off is flexibility. Most fire release techniques are straight-up blasts. You're basically blowing fire straight at your enemy. That makes the attack path kind of predictable, right? So, with smaller fire release techniques, your opponent can usually dodge, unless the flames are just too massive. In that case, your only options are to dive underground or find a way to counter the jutsu. However, elite-level shinobi can manipulate these flames, bend them into complex shapes. We've seen Obito's vortex flame, Itachi's flame-coated shuriken that follow a flexible arc, and even a scorching hot ash cloud that blinds and burns anyone foolish enough to step inside. That's Madara. The elemental interactions make it even more deadly. Fire release dominates wind release, using air currents as fuel to create even more ferocious blazes. But it meets its match against water release, which can extinguish flames if powerful enough. The thing is, if the water isn't strong enough, all you'll do is create steam. It's like a mist. Basically just a battlefield hazard unless you've got a special eye technique to see through it. But wait, there's more. Use enough fire release techniques, and you can actually change the weather itself, creating the perfect storm conditions for lightning release. Remember Sasuke's Kirin? That apocalyptic lightning strike was only possible because his flames heated the atmosphere enough to generate those storm clouds. In Konohagakure, fire release is pure pride and tradition. The Uchiha clan treated the Great Fireball technique like a rite of passage. If you couldn't master this move, you weren't considered a true adult in their society. Through dedicated training, Uchiha members like Itachi and Sasuke could generate flames powerful enough to overpower even normal water release techniques.
Sasuke took fire release to completely new heights with his blaze release, using his Mangekyo Sharingan to control the black flames of Amaterasu like they were extensions of his own will. He could shape them into swords, shields, or projectiles, turning an already devastating technique into a versatile arsenal of destruction. The Sarutobi clan wasn't about to be outdone either, with their hidden Great Flame technique that exploded with the same unyielding determination that defined their bloodline. Compared to other chakra natures, fire release makes an unmistakable statement about pure, unfiltered power. To be fair though, fire release doesn't really burn much in Naruto,
aside from Sasuke's Amaterasu taking off the Raikage arm.
Still, fire release is the most straightforward element, which is why it's wielded by the boldest, most strong-willed, even wild and reckless ninja. Those who are willing to burn down every limitation to achieve their goals. There's something primal and liberating about wielding flames. It connects you to that fundamental force of destruction and renewal that's been part of human nature since the dawn of time. Fire release always becomes the center of attention wherever it appears. It's genuinely beautiful, absolutely dazzling. So here's the question that really matters. If you were a ninja in the world of Naruto, would you choose this element? Interesting, right? If you're looking for a journey full of emotions, action, and friendship, then you've come to the right place. Our channel takes you deep into the colorful and intense ninja world of Naruto. From epic battles to heartwarming moments.
Water release. Now, let's move on to the element that counters fire. Water. Have you ever dreamed of controlling entire oceans, turning water into razor-sharp weapons, or building an unbreakable barrier from liquid itself? That's exactly what water release brings to the table. What makes water release absolutely terrifying is its incredible flexibility and shape-shifting nature. One moment it's just water, gentle and pure, The next, it's a devastating tsunami. It's both the ultimate shield and the deadliest sword, perfectly embodying that unpredictable, free-flowing power that lets you adapt to any situation. Water release masters really command it like ancient sea gods. The core strength lies in manipulating existing water sources or creating massive amounts from pure chakra, which honestly shows just how insanely skilled these ninjas are. Let's go over some iconic water release techniques. First, the legendary water dragon bullet that creates a roaring beast of pure water. This jutsu is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and also very versatile. It has solid offensive power and works well in mid-range combat. We've also got the water formation wall, which creates a liquid barrier that stops medium to large-scale fire release attacks, while techniques like the hidden mist turn you into a ghost on the battlefield. And of course, there's the entire arsenal of Kisame. This guy's basically a fish man. His entire combat style is built around water. And because of how flexible this element is, its combat applications are simply undeniable. You can flood entire areas to control the terrain, create water prisons to trap enemies, or use thick mist to completely blind opponents while you hunt them down. It's like having the power of every sea deity rolled into one devastating package. It's no surprise that water release is used by tactical masters, those who favor coordination, strategy, and efficiency above all else. Yes, I'm talking about Tobirama Senju. This man could summon an entire water wall in a confined space, use water to counter fire, and create mist that neutralized the Sharingan's vision, shoot high-pressure water jets that could slice through the toughest materials, and even spit water senbon from his mouth to launch sneak attacks. We've also got the Ninja of the Mist, those who use water release to support their stealthy, silent kill fighting styles. Then there's Kisame Hoshigaki. This guy fights like a literal predator shark. Imagine going up against someone who floods the entire battlefield and then sends a pack of liquid monsters after you. Simple choice: drown or get eaten. And don't even get me started on the Hozuki clan's hydrification technique. These guys can literally turn themselves into water, making them practically immortal and ridiculously hard to predict. One moment you're fighting a solid person, the next your fist is going through liquid, and suddenly they're behind you with a blade ready to end your career. See what I mean? It's the perfect fusion of raw power and battlefield strategy. And obviously, don't throw fire jutsu at skilled water release users, unless you're Madara. Otherwise, you're just wasting chakra. But water isn't invincible. Earth release can really mess things up, absorbing water and turning your deadly jutsu into a bunch of glorified puddles. It's the classic rock, paper, scissors situation. So here's the real question. Would you prefer the elegant, refined water manipulation of the second Hokage? Or would you rather flex like Kisame and drown everyone in your way? I choose fire release, lightning release. Just behind water release, in terms of flexibility, we have lightning release. Sure, it may be slightly less versatile, but in terms of power, speed, and screen time, it absolutely dominates. What's flashy comes with killer sound effects, delivers pure destruction, and leaves both enemies and viewers paralyzed. This is it. Lightning release transforms chakra into pure electrical energy, delivering speed, piercing power, and that satisfying shock that leaves opponents completely helpless. The crackling sparks, the blinding flashes, the ear-splitting thunder when it hits. I'm not kidding. Every single battle featuring top-tier lightning release users is instantly 10 times more hype. In combat, lightning release makes every weapon deadly. Channel electricity through a kunai or a blade, and it vibrates with lethal energy, cutting through armor like a hot knife through butter. Even a regular sword in Killer Bee's hands almost sliced Kubikiri Bocho in half. Kakashi's Chidori? That's a lightning speed assassination technique that punches through anything in its path. Then there's the Raikage's lightning release chakra mode, where he literally becomes lightning itself. His body moves at incredible speed, his strength gets massively buffed, and he becomes virtually unstoppable. Sasuke's Kirin stands as the most jaw-dropping lightning release technique ever created. He really commanded actual lightning from storm clouds, bringing down nature's fury in a single, devastating strike. Picture the sky splitting open, a massive dragon of pure electricity descending like divine judgment. Goosebumps every single time I rewatch that scene. Because lightning belongs to the sky, mastering it is like becoming Thor wielding Mjolnir. Stand on a mountaintop, call down lightning to strike your enemies. That's the lightning release fantasy we all dream of. Darui's Black Lightning offers something different. A mysterious, unique variant learned from the Third Raikage himself. Meanwhile, the Third Raikage's Hellstab earned the title of Strongest Spear, capable of piercing any defense. You want battlefield control? Use Chidori Nagashi. You want mid-range strikes? Try Chidori Spear. Want to throw lightning chakra like Shuriken? Use Chidori Senbon. Sure, it doesn't have the shape-shifting flexibility or terrain control that water release boasts, but its damage output is huge, and its combat applications are incredibly effective thanks to its conductivity. Also, lightning release completely dominates earth release. That's why Sasuke was able to beat Sasori, because Sasori primarily used earth release. Don't forget, Sasori was an S-rank rogue ninja, immune to genjutsu, capable of flight, and had a much more versatile arsenal than Sasuke at that point. Honestly, it's kind of wild how lucky Sasuke was to have both the Sharingan and lightning release. If you like speed and piercing power, lightning release is your pick. Wind release. This is chakra made for those who crave freedom, who want to glide like a storm, and unleash strikes that leave opponents with no time to react. If you want to become an unstoppable tornado, wind release is your very soul. Wind release transforms chakra into razor-sharp wind blades. Or, you don't even need to mold chakra. You can just generate actual wind. Asuma Sarutobi channeled wind release into his chakra blades, turning them into razor-sharp weapons with reach far beyond any sword. Tamari, the kunoichi of Tsunagakure, only needed to swing her giant folding fan to create sandstorms that shred enemies to pieces. Have you ever imagined controlling a spinning tornado or summoning a wind-riding beast like Tamari's Kamatari to slice your opponents clean? It's absolute freedom on the battlefield. Now, think about Naruto Uzumaki's Rasen Shuriken, a spinning chakra sphere that glimmers like a star, cutting everything down to the cellular level. That's Naruto's signature move, hands down. But, in reality, wind release is rare. It truly shines in Tsunagakure. However, when people talk about this village, they usually mention the generations of Kazekage who manipulate sand, or the two legendary puppet masters. Wind release has never been fully explored to its true potential, and that's kind of a shame, because air is invisible, unpredictable, and its area of effect potential is absolutely terrifying. Remember, Tamari literally mowed down an entire forest with one swing of her folding fan. Its piercing power might not be the highest, but wind release is the natural enemy of anything airborne. Kunai, shuriken, sound waves, or literally anything floating or flying. Wind release's flexibility makes it perfect for those who love freedom and surprises. Earth release. Now, we move on to the most primal and raw element, earth release. This element has even less screen time than wind release, but it's definitely not as weak as people think. Of course, because Earth is solid and rugged, we usually think of its defensive potential first. Yeah, the defensive capabilities alone are mind-blowing. The Earth walls can absorb ridiculous amounts of damage, shrugging off attacks that would level buildings, but it's more versatile than you think. Remember Jiraiya's Swamp of the Underworld? That technique doesn't just trap you, it pulls you down into a muddy grave where struggle only makes things worse. And then there's the underground fish projection technique, where ninja literally swim through solid earth to launch surprise attacks. Your enemies never see it coming, and earth is everywhere. You're standing on it, which means you can choose to mold chakra and spit out earth, or you can manipulate the existing terrain. When someone can casually reshape the terrain you're standing on, you're fighting the ground itself. Not many ninja can fly, so if you can control the earth, you actually have a massive advantage on the battlefield, especially in large-scale combat. You can even summon an earth golem to fight for you, tank hits for you, and bring enough flexibility and destruction to dominate in mid-range combat. If you want to see truly terrifying earth release power, look at Kitsuchi during the Fourth Great Ninja War. He had the ability to manipulate terrain on a massive scale. This man literally created 2 mountains, actual mountains, and sandwiched the Ten-Tails in between them. Imagine having so much control over Earth that geological features become your weapons. And of course, we can't ignore Onoki's weight manipulation techniques. Making things lighter or heavier might sound simple, But when you can make your enemies too heavy to move, increase the power of your strikes, reduce your own weight to boost speed, even fly, or stop a meteor from the sky, you're a beast. There's a reason an old man like Onoki was considered the strongest among the 5 Kage. And yeah, dust release? We have to talk about dust release. That's earth, wind, and fire combined into particle-level destruction that can erase anything from existence. It's the only Keki Tota in the entire series, and in terms of raw destructive potential, it can rival the truth-seeking orbs. Earth release isn't just about techniques, it's about mindset. Users tend to be patient, methodical, and absolutely unbreakable in their resolve. They're the ones who let enemies exhaust themselves against immovable defenses before crushing them with the inevitable weight of stone and soil. It's not flashy like fire or graceful like water. It's the slow, grinding force of nature that wears down everything in its path. Think about it. Earth release is perfect for those who want to build their empire on unshakable foundations or destroy everything with the raw power of the planet itself. This is the element for those who understand that true power doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be absolute. Gift of the Hermit Group. In the Naruto world, we're pretty familiar with chakra types like Nature Energy, Tailed Beast Chakra, or Six Paths Chakra. But there's also a super rare and mysterious type called Gift of the Hermit Group. This chakra was introduced in the 12 Guardian Ninja arc. It's a powerful spiritual energy that only ninjas who reach a certain level of physical and mental strength can possess. Basically, this chakra lets users unlock their body's hidden potential, break their own limits, and, if used correctly, turn an average ninja into an absolute war machine. The most well-known users of the Gift of the Hermit Group are Asuma Sarutobi and the 12 Guardian Ninja. When activated, they can use a special technique called Ninpu, Chimatsuri no Jin. When activated, they can use a special technique called Welcoming Approach, Thousand-Armed Murder, to defend the user or attack their enemies. But the one who truly showed the insane potential of this chakra was Kazuma, a villain in this arc. He used it to boost his strength to ridiculous levels, going toe-to-toe with Asuma and even overpowering him at times. What's interesting is that this chakra is kinda similar to Senjutsu, but instead of absorbing nature energy like Sage Mode, it works by unlocking a ninja's internal seals. It's also a bit like the 8 Gates, since both involve unlocking hidden power, but the difference is that this chakra doesn't wreck your body. Instead, it gives you a power boost without major drawbacks. Unfortunately, this chakra only appeared in a filler arc and never showed up in the main battles. But if Kishimoto had explored it further, we might have gotten an entirely new power system, one that mixes taijutsu, ninjutsu, and a bit of spiritual energy. Tailed Beast Chakra. This is probably the type of chakra you're most familiar with, right? It's a huge part of the story and plays a major role in shaping the power system in Naruto. Tailed Beast Chakra is a supernatural energy source. It was created way back in the era of the Sage of Six Paths, when he split the 10 tails into 9 separate creatures. Each tailed beast has its own unique chakra with different properties, kind of like collecting infinity stones in Marvel, huh? The one thing all tailed beast chakra has in common is insanely powerful. Comparing it to a regular ninja's chakra is like comparing a gas tank to an entire nuclear power plant. Even the strongest ninjas struggle to match up to this massive energy reserve. There's a reason why people call the tailed beasts chakra monsters. They have like nearly unlimited chakra, and they also have their own minds, emotions, and will. In other words, they're not just a source of energy, they're living beings. So when you become a Jinchuriki, it's like sharing your body with a giant beast. You're basically in a symbiotic relationship with a massive creature living inside you. If you can control it, the benefits are insane, like super fast healing. Naruto got stabbed all over the place, but with just a bit of Kurama's chakra, he was back on his feet like nothing happened. But don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows. This chakra is not easy to handle. If you're not strong enough, it can end up controlling you instead. Naruto lost control multiple times and straight up turned into a monster. And Gaara, with Shukaku, couldn't even take a nap as a kid without losing himself completely. That's why mastering Tailed Beast Chakra is no joke. But you can really see the difference between Jinchuriki
Jinchurikis. Naruto struggled for years to tame Kurama, while Killer Bee bonded with Gyuki like they were best buddies. When Bee transforms, Gyuki moves like an extension of him. Meanwhile, Naruto, back in the day, just leaking a bit of Kurama's chakra was already hard for him to control. And before Naruto fully earned Kurama's trust, he had to constantly fight against the Nine-Tails rage that kept pushing into his mind. Yeah, but once he did gain control, Naruto turned this chakra into a legit superpower, combining it with Rasen Shuriken, unlocking his overpowered Tailed Beast mode, and more. One more crazy thing, Tailed Beast Chakra is special because it's pure and unique. Even if it gets dispersed, it slowly gathers back over time and reforms, which means the tailed beasts can never truly die. They're basically immortal. Absorption Chakra. This is the type of energy which could kill someone, or more exactly, many ones at the same time. It drains an opponent's chakra completely, leaving them as nothing more than an empty shell in just seconds. What exactly is it? This special type of chakra comes from the Gedo statue, which is basically the empty husk of the Ten Tails after it was sealed away. When activated, it releases ghostly dragon-like creatures that suck the chakra out of anyone they touch. If you get hit, game over. Akatsuki used it to seal the tailed beasts. When capturing Jinchuriki, they performed a ritual, summoning 9 spectral dragons to extract the tailed beast's chakra and store it inside the Gedo statue. This not only took away the Jinchuriki's power, but could also kill them in the process. One of the most famous examples is Gaara losing Shukaku. Akatsuki used Absorption Chakra to rip the one tail out of him. But is it an instant kill for everyone? Not exactly. If the target has a massive chakra reserve, the tailed beasts, the process takes much longer. That means it's the perfect tool for hunting down tailed beasts, but it's not necessarily the best weapon for a one-on-one fight against a really powerful ninja. Want to see Absorption Chakra at its peak? Here are some insane highlights. Pain summoned the Gedo statue against Hanzo and wiped out his entire army in seconds, showing just how ridiculously powerful this technique is. Obito took over the Gedo statue after Nagato's death, using it to gather the chakra of the Ten Tails and eventually turn himself into its Jinchuriki. And let's not forget Madara flexing on everyone when he used Gedo Mazo to grab all 9 tailed beasts at once. That moment alone proves that the time needed to absorb a target's chakra isn't just about the victim. It also depends on the user. While the Akatsuki needed several days to extract a single tailed beast, Madara did it in one swift move. No waiting, no build-up, just instant domination. So how does Absorption Chakra compare to other chakra types? If we're talking about Tailed Beast Chakra, the difference is pretty clear. Tailed Beast Chakra is all about brute force and raw physical power, while Absorption Chakra is designed to drain energy, turning opponents into lifeless husks. Against Senjutsu Chakra, the contrast is just as striking. Senjutsu enhances a ninja's strength, speed, and awareness, making them far more powerful. But it doesn't have the ability to steal chakra from others the way Absorption Chakra does. At the end of the day, Absorption Chakra is one of the deadliest chakra types in Naruto. Perfect for sealing, perfect for torturing, and absolutely terrifying in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. Senjutsu Chakra. This is the chakra that takes ninja to a whole new level, the level of true sages. It's not like the regular chakra that ninja normally use. Usually, ninja create chakra by combining physical energy and spiritual energy. But Senjutsu Chakra adds a special third ingredient, natural energy. In other words, it's an upgraded version of chakra, blending all 3 elements to unlock insane power. Then, how do you get Senjutsu Chakra? By gathering natural energy through meditation. But it's not as simple as just sitting down and absorbing nature's energy. To use Senjutsu, a ninja must go through intense training in special places like Mount Myoboku, Ryuchi Cave, and possibly Shikotsu Forest, territory of the slugs. There, they learn how to sense and control the flow of natural energy around them. When talking about Sage Mode, we have to mention the ninja who mastered it. First up, Naruto Uzumaki, who trained at Mount Myoboku under Fukasaku's guidance. Once he unlocked Sage Mode, he became strong enough to throw a giant rhino with bare hands. On top of that, He could sense chakra without even looking, spotting enemies from very far away. Then there's Jiraiya, Naruto's master. He also used Sage Mode, but his wasn't fully perfected because he couldn't completely balance natural energy. And finally, we have Hashirama Senju, the absolute beast. Unlike the others, he didn't even need to train at Mount Myoboku or anywhere else. He just had Sage Mode naturally. This allowed him to control wood release at a god tier level. So how strong is Senjutsu Chakra? First off, it massively boosts physical strength, speed, and recovery. Attacks in Sage Mode hit way harder than regular chakra-powered attacks. Just look at Hashirama's chakra avatar. He could control the battlefield at an unimaginable level. Second, it unlocks unique techniques like Frog Kata, a close combat fighting style powered by natural energy that makes it nearly impossible for enemies to dodge. Third, and most importantly, Senjutsu Chakra is one of the few power sources that can actually damage the Ten Tails and its Jinchuriki. In fact, it might be the only real counter to the truth-seeking orbs. For example, Naruto and Minato used Senjutsu to land attacks on Obito while he was in Ten Tails Jinchuriki mode. But is there a downside? Of course. The biggest weakness of Senjutsu is that gathering and controlling natural energy is insanely difficult. If a ninja absorbs too much without balancing it properly, they will turn into a creature from the place they trained, or turn to stone. That's why only a handful of people have ever mastered Senjutsu. And let's be real, every single one of them is an absolute legend. Compared to Tailed Beast Chakra, Senjutsu doesn't come with an endless supply of chakra, but it makes up for it with better balance and insane sensory abilities. Now, if we're talking about Six Paths Chakra, the ultimate version of Senjutsu that Naruto unlocked later, then yeah, Senjutsu is one step below it. But still, even without reaching god tier levels, Senjutsu remains one of the most powerful chakra types in the entire Naruto universe. So, what do you think about Senjutsu? If you had the chance, would you train at Mount Myoboku with the toads, or would you rather learn from the snakes at Ryuchi Cave? Let me know.
Six Paths Chakra. Six Paths Chakra is the kind of power that turns humans into literal gods. Anyone who has it can break past normal limits and reach a whole new level of strength. So, where does it come from? Six Paths Chakra was originally Hagoromo Otsutsuki's energy, the sage of Six Paths himself. He was the son of Kaguya Otsutsuki and the man who created ninjutsu. In other words, this is the chakra of a god. It's on a whole different level, combining Ten Tails Chakra with high-level spiritual energy. It has different forms, like Six Paths Sage Chakra, Six Paths Yin-Yang Power, and Six Paths Power. Looking at the characters who have used Six Paths Chakra, it's clear that this power completely changes the battlefield. Naruto Uzumaki, after receiving it from Hagoromo, unlocked Six Paths Sage Mode, which gave him flight, truth-seeking balls, and enough power to help seal Kaguya. Sasuke Uchiha wasn't far behind. He got Six Paths Yin Power, which awakened his Rinnegan and gave him insane abilities like Amenotejikara, allowing him to teleport instantly to dodge attacks and counter immediately. Madara Uchiha, after becoming the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, also gained Six Paths Chakra, making him almost immortal and powerful enough to dominate the entire battlefield. And of course, we can't forget Kakashi Hatake, who temporarily received some of Obito's power, leveling up Kamui to the point where he could cut through dimensions. Another key ability is Six Paths Yin-Yang Power, which Hagoromo gave to Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto got the Yang Power, with a sun mark on his right hand, while Sasuke got the Yin Power, with a moon mark on his left. These two powers combined let them use Six Paths Chibaku Tensei, the ultimate sealing jutsu that trapped Kaguya. Even Kakashi, when temporarily powered up by Obito, was able to level up Kamui thanks to Six Paths power. But there's a catch. Six Paths Chakra doesn't last forever. If a person isn't naturally connected to Hagoromo, or doesn't have the right body for it, the power eventually fades away. So, how does Six Paths Chakra compare to other chakra types? Tailed Beast Chakra? Not really close. Six Paths Chakra is on a whole other level because it's actually the source of all the tailed beasts. Senjutsu Chakra, strong, but still not on the same tier. Senjutsu draws power from nature, while Six Paths Chakra is literally divine. Absorption Chakra, just a tiny fraction of the Ten Tails power. Meanwhile, Six Paths Chakra is the full might of a god. At the end of the day, Six Paths Chakra is the ultimate power in Naruto. It didn't just make Naruto and Sasuke the strongest ninja of their time, it was also the key to defeating the final boss.
Hamuras Chakra. This is one of the rare chakra sources that can rival Hagoromo's power. Why? Hamura Otsutsuki was actually Hagoromo's older brother. While Hagoromo stayed on Earth to guide humanity, Hamura chose to go to the moon with his clan to guard the Ten Tails and seal their mother, Kaguya. This means Hamura's chakra was also passed down to the Otsutsuki clan on the moon, with his descendant being Tonari Otsutsuki from the last, Naruto the movie. If Hagoromo's chakra was all about balance between yin and yang, giving power to humans and creating ninjutsu, then Hamura's chakra was purer, making it perfect for advanced taijutsu and controlling the Tenseigen, a powerful evolution of the Byakugan. When Hinata received Hamura's chakra, she got a huge power boost, allowing Naruto to destroy Tonari's planetary devastation orb. Hamura's chakra abilities includes unlocking the Tenseigan. This is the most broken ability of Hamura's lineage. By combining a pure Byakugan with Hamura's chakra, the user can activate the Tenseigan, which has power on par with the Rinnegan. Boosting taijutsu, this chakra massively increases physical strength and reflexes. Even Hinata, after absorbing just a small part of Hamura's chakra, showed a huge difference in power, sealing and chakra control. Hamura helped Hagoromo seal Kaguya, and his chakra could be a key factor in stopping future Otsutsuki threats. Unlike his younger brother, Hamura didn't have the Rinne Sharingan, but he was still a god-tier warrior. While he couldn't create an entire new world like Hagoromo, his combat abilities were just as strong. In fact, because his chakra was purer, Hamura could control energy in ways that normal people could never achieve.
Star Chakra. Sounds weird, right? This is a special type of chakra that lets users grow majestic peacock-like wings, beautiful and powerful. But behind that flashy appearance lies a terrifying cost. This is a unique power that only exists in Hoshigakure. The story starts about 200 years ago when a mysterious meteorite crashed into Hoshigakure. A rock from space lands on Earth, carrying an unknown energy, and the ninjas of the village quickly realize that it can massively amplify their chakra. Of course, everyone wants to get stronger, so they develop a special training method, meditating near the meteorite to absorb its radiation. Thanks to this power source, Hoshigakure developed a one-of-a-kind jutsu, mysterious peacock method. When activated, chakra bursts out from the user's back, forming glowing purple-pink energy tails, just like a peacock's feathers. And these chakra tails can be used for defense, shaped into weapons, and even allow the user to fly. Easily, one of the most visually stunning jutsu in the Naruto series. But is it really worth it? Here comes the scary part. The meteorite's radiation doesn't just boost chakra, it slowly destroys the ninja's body. Those who train with it may become insanely strong, but in return, their bodies start deteriorating, their organs weaken, and if they keep pushing forward, death is inevitable. Even the strongest couldn't escape the deadly effects of Star Chakra. Hotarubi, the father of Sumeru, and one of Hoshigakure's most talented ninjas, lost his life because of it. Seeing how dangerous the meteorite's power was, the village's leader, the third Hoshikage, decided to ban its use. But as with every story about power and ambition, not everyone agreed. Akahoshi, a man who declared himself the fourth Hoshikage, secretly continued experimenting with the meteorite. He forced young ninjas into brutal training, completely ignoring the fact that it was killing them. But in the end, thanks to Naruto and his team, the meteorite was completely destroyed, bringing an end to Star Chakra forever. And that's it, Star Chakra, a power as dazzling as a shooting star, but just as fleeting. Once a legend of Hoshigakure, a force that amazed the entire ninja world, now nothing more than a memory. Negative Chakra. Have you ever heard of a type of chakra that can control emotions, turn people into puppets, and even feed a supernatural creature? That's negative chakra. Negative chakra doesn't come from nature. It's born from negative emotions like anger, fear, and despair. The deeper someone falls into darkness, the stronger this chakra becomes.
First introduced in Boruto, Naruto. Next generations, negative chakra is closely tied to Nue, a supernatural beast summoned by Sumire Kake. Her father, Tanuki Shigaraki, was a former root member under Danzo and created Nue as a living weapon powered by this chakra to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village. What makes Nue special is that it doesn't just absorb negative chakra, it thrives on it, using it as fuel to grow stronger. So, how powerful is negative chakra? First off, it's the main energy source for Nue, allowing it to regenerate, evolve, and unleash devastating attacks. But more importantly, this chakra can directly influence a person's mind. When it seeps into someone, it amplifies their negative emotions, making them lose control, act on impulse, and become easy to manipulate. During the Ghost Incident arc, several students at the Ninja Academy were affected by negative chakra, turning aggressive and unaware of their actions. Sumar used this to her advantage, gathering more energy for Nue and turning her victims into living chakra batteries. If you think about it, negative chakra is more like a psychological weapon than a direct attack. It doesn't just hurt people, it warps their emotions, making them tools for whoever controls it. Sumire herself is proof of how dangerous this chakra can be. Her tragic past and thirst for revenge pushed her down a dark path. But thanks to Boruto and his friends, she was able to break free from its grip, proving that no matter how strong negative chakra is, sheer willpower and forgiveness can overcome it.